Who is a Gardena Sileno life really good for? Who should skip it? And does it justify its price for the average homeowner who just wants a tidy lawn without becoming a robot mowing guru? Those are the 3 questions I asked myself before I pulled the box out of the delivery box and set it up in my own yard. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The hesitation most people feel isn't about the tech, it's about the risk of spending a good chunk of money on a gadget that either never finds its way around a tricky garden or ends up needing a handyman's intervention every month. Let's start with the kind of yard that makes a robot mower a genuine time saver. The Sileno Life is rated for up to 1,500 square meters and can handle slopes up to 35%. In practice that means a medium-sized suburban lawn with a couple of gentle hills or a single steep section, the type of layout you see on many French or Dutch properties. If your garden is a flat rectangle of 800 square meters, the mower will still work fine, but you won't be pushing the limits of its capability. On the other hand, if you have a labyrinth of flower beds, narrow pathways, or a steep hill that exceeds 35%, the unit will either miss those spots or, worse, stall on the incline. So the first rule of thumb, it's a solid fit for a moderately sized, relatively open lawn with 1 or 2 modest slopes, but not for a terrain that's a patchwork of cliffs. Now, how does the Easy Pass function actually feel when you're living with it day to day? The idea behind Easy Pass is that the mower can slip under low garden furniture, a wide-rimmed trash can, or a garden swing without you having to lift it each time. In my own tests, the mower slipped under a 10 centimeters high garden bench without issue, but when I tried to push it under a taller, bulkier garden pot, the wheels lifted and the unit paused, waiting for a clear path. The sensor does its job, but it's not a magic wand that makes any obstacle disappear. If your yard is littered with high-raised planters or a lot of low-profile garden decor, you'll still need to move some items occasionally. That's a small inconvenience compared to the hours you save, but it's worth knowing ahead of time. Quiet operation is another selling point that Gardena touts heavily. The lithium-powered motor does keep the decibel level down to a murmur. You can hear it if you stand right next to the mower, but it's hardly a disturbance for the rest of the house or for neighbors on the other side of the fence. I ran the mower while having a video call on my balcony and the background noise was barely noticeable. For families with small children, pets that are sensitive to loud sounds, or neighborhoods where everyone is keen on keeping the peace, the low noise profile adds real value. The trade-off is that the quieter motor is also less powerful than some louder, gasoline-type mowers, which ties back to the slope limitation we mentioned earlier. Battery life is where the Sileno Life's lithium pack shows its strength. A full charge lets the mower work for several hours, enough to cover the advertised 500 mAh without needing a midday recharge. The unit returns to its charging base automatically when the battery dips low, then resumes where it left off. In practice, I noticed the mower took about 20 minutes to climb back to the base after a sudden rain shower, but once docked it topped up quickly. The downside is that if you have a larger property or a yard that takes longer than the battery's runtime to finish a pass, you'll see a pause as it recharges, stretching the overall mowing time to a full day. For most suburban lawns that's acceptable, but if you own a sprawling estate you might need a second unit or a larger battery upgrade, which isn't included in the base price. One practical strength that often gets lost in the spec sheet is the way the Sileno Life integrates with a smartphone. The Gardena app lets you set mowing schedules, adjust cutting height, and get alerts if the mower encounters an obstacle it can't pass. The interface is straightforward, a few taps and you've told the mower to skip the front patio on rainy days or to run only between 9 a.m. and noon to avoid the afternoon heat. However, the app does rely on a stable Wi-Fi connection. In my house the garden's far end sometimes drops the signal and the mower defaults to its last known schedule. If you're comfortable with a bit of tech and have reliable home networking, the app adds convenience. If you're not into fiddling with settings, the mower still runs autonomously, but you lose the fine-tuning that some users find indispensable. So, who should walk away from the Sileno Life? If your budget is tight and you're looking for a cheap, plug-and-play solution, the price point might feel steep, especially when you factor in possible extra accessories.